every week.
Hello.
Hello. It's so good to see you. Welcome.
Listen, people were mad that you were unavailable last week. They told me. They
I
said,
don't blame them.
"Is there no show today? Is there not an offering?"
Is
And
offering?
I said, "I'm sorry. Sarah is praying at the temple of Duke."
I was, and then Duke
Um,
lost. We can talk about that. We can talk about it.
is that why you were really crying on the phone to me? Are you
No,
crying because your team lost? You're crying
no,
because it was a very emotional game for you.
it was. Hi, welcome to Your Favorite Ants. We are excited that you have joined us here. I'm one
Yes.
of your hosts, Dolly Parton, and this is
I am your other host, Reba McIntyre, and this is your favorite ants.
Your Favorite Ants. I actually will be honest, if Dolly Parton and Reba McIntyre were my aunts, come
That would
on.
be pretty sweet.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
levels
The
on
best.
levels of swag. Also, it's just like we've never seen Dolly Parton's real hair. Do people recognize this?
Oh, I have never thought about that.
That
You're
woman
right,
has
though.
been in a wig from day one.
Yeah, that's true.
Drag
Um,
a drag queen.
yes. Friends, I am so sorry that I was not here last week. We did make announcements. Always check Instagram. That's usually where we make announcements. I
Yeah,
wasn't.
don't
Go
yeah,
ahead.
if you're not following us on social media, you're also missing out on most of the fun.
Yeah, yeah, it is a lot of fun. Yeah. So I was at the NCAA Final Four. Such a good trip. I got to go to the South and hang out with my family, hang out with my friends. And I'll be honest, guys, I enjoyed the game, even though Duke lost. We played UNC, our biggest rival. So that was
Mhm.
rough. But then Kansas won in the end. So that was Kansas Jayhawks. I know you know, Kevin, because I know how much you love college sports.
I love college sports. In fact, I have a entire show devoted to it. It's called Sports Center. I've hosted it many, many years.
I didn't
And
know that was you.
yeah, the makeup and the TV, the camera
Mm.
adds 10 pounds and the makeup really makes you look beautiful. So like I look different on the television. No, I do know about the sport. No, I don't give a fuck about that. But I'm glad that
Uh,
you had a good time.
I had a great time. I did meet some really fans, I have to say, UNC. There are not very nice fans on all sides of all fences, but for whatever reason, UNC in particular has some
This is
pretty
why I think that
not
we need
nice
to
fans.
stop sports things.
All sports fans?
Um, yeah, because obviously it causes division. It causes people to be incensed. It
But
causes
also,
people to hate one another, to burn cities up.
do you want to know one of my favorite stories? I'm going to tell you a really cute story of sports fans. So in the World
Also, real
Cup,
quick, will you check your settings to make sure your microphone is correct? Like, no, not
is
there.
it
On the,
not on?
I,
I can
I,
hear it. Check. We're going to check. We're going to check.
I don't know. I just want you to check because it sounds a little
That's
off.
fine. No, it is. Hold on.
Oh, then maybe you just need to put it
Let's
closer to
just
your mouth.
turn up my gain, maybe. My gain was way down. Is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Oh, yay. Sorry about that. Sorry, kids. Okay, I want to tell you a story, though. Can I tell you a story about sports ball that's
No,
cute?
this is not a podcast where we talk about things that we like want to talk about.
Ah! Okay, so a couple of years ago, Ireland was playing, I think, I want to say, this might be wrong, but they were playing, I think it was either Norway, and if you know the answer to this, it was one of the Nordic countries with
The
beautiful women.
Nordic
Might
countries.
have been Finland, and they
Don't
they
all places have beautiful
just
women?
all but like notoriously like fans of soccer. So like oftentimes they'll just like zoom in on the fans. So they're this team Ireland destroyed the team, and instead of like, and they were in Ireland, and instead of yelling like anything mean about winning, they all just yelled, "Go home to your sexy wives." That's what they sang to the other team. And I thought that was cute.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's really the thing that counts, right? Is
Yeah.
who.
Are
It's
you
like,
going
here's the
home
thing.
with?
I mean, absolutely. I measure my worth by the um, sexual satisfaction I'm getting at any given moment. Uh,
Okay. Should we get back on track? I'm so sorry, guys. I started talking about sports and, you know,
yeah.
I got us off track. So how the hell are you, not only you, Kevin, but also how the hell are you fans? We've missed you.
I don't want to call our friends fans.
I know we had a really cute name for it and I can't remember.
Just
You
our.
hated one. Oh, heirs. How are the heirs?
Oh yeah, how are the airs of your favorite ants? Our favorite
How you
airs. Oh
doing?
my god, our
Our
favorite
favorite
airs.
heirs. How are our favorite
That,
heirs?
that's good.
I like it
To our massive amount of fortune and whatnot that we
so
have for
much.
sure.
I have an
So
entire
much money.
face of Topo Chico, which I think probably is, wealth,
Bougie.
you know? Mhm.
Truly. I would like to say I'm with M. I'm also very sleepy.
Mm.
Um, and overall though, I'm feeling quite positive. It's been a great week. Last week, the Crowded Table live event in Atlanta was absolutely stunning, delicious, and perfect. Many of our favorite airs were there, slash people who are from the Crowded Table community. Like when I tell you, like I thought that our event that we pulled off in LA was good, but let me tell you what I feel like that it was something really, really special. And when
I
I
love that.
really, I feel like people were able to come and connect and make friends. Um, Definitely went over budget, but that was on me because I asked too many people to participate and they said, yes, I'm going to pay you as well, which of course I believe in. And now I'm just like, I'm over. Where's the money? Okay, it'll come from somewhere. So thankfully, all of my friends are really cool. And I'm like, hey, I went over budget. So like, kind of be a little patient. So everyone's been real chill about that. I don't like being that person, but I do communicate about money. Um, what else is going on in my life? I sent my book proposal into my agent. It's in. I feel really good about it. So light your candles, knock on wood. I want $50,000 for my advance. That's what I'm asking for.
Whoa, I love
What I'm
that.
hoping for. That's what I'm trying to manifest.
Uh,
Um,
can we talk about a title that you recently got and also
title.
shared? A romantic
What
title?
title? Oh, sure. If we want to talk about that, my romance life is continuing to blossom in delicious ways with my now boyfriend. I suppose we are calling him because it was very casually. We were sitting out on. I asked him just like I've been calling you my boyfriend to all my friends and stuff because that's kind of the role you're fulfilling, wouldn't you say? And he said, "Yeah, I guess so." And I'm like, "You don't have to call me your boyfriend or whatever, because that's just no. That's what I'm calling you." And he
Aw.
said, "Okay, fine." And then later on that night, I was like, "So, like, am I your boyfriend?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess so." I was like, "Cool." And that was it. That was it.
I love it.
And it was really nice. Went out on Wednesday and karaoke, and he sang Shania Twain's "Still the One." And and to that I say, how did you not know that you were at least a little bit gay? Growing up loving Shania motherfucking Twain. Come on now.
I mean, I feel like she goes across the
She's a gay
barrier,
icon. She is a gay icon.
obviously. Obviously.
I mean, man, I feel like a woman is
Mm,
in
mm,
every drag
mm,
queen's
mm,
repertoire,
mm,
period.
mm. Oh, yeah, no drag queen has not performed to that.
So that feels really nice. And I also was able to really like communicate like, big feelings in a way that would and still get what I want. Like it's truly incredible. It's like being radically honest is actually paying off. It's like all the benefits I purport to experience, I'm experiencing.
I love that.
What a concept.
I love it. Can we pull Dana's response on the air, one of our airs on the air?
Mm.
Because it's pretty exciting. Dana says, I'm great. Just left my 6-month oncologist appointment and I'm still cancer free.
Woo woo.
Yay!
So yeah, that's me right now. How the hell are you, Sarah Louisa Jane Heath?
Ooh, I think I'm a mixed bag, honestly. I've got I
Mixed.
I had such a great time at home. And home, I guess. I don't know where home is for me, and so that's part of my always angst,
Mm.
right?
Ooh, question of put a pin in that question. What does home mean to one, to self?
Yes.
Keep going.
So I was with my family and had a delightful time, a wonderful time, and traveling with my friend Louise. And we went all the way from Nashville. We saw your friend, my friend, our shared friend Keegan, and we
You gonna
drove.
ski?
Yeah, that's who we,
Ah,
that's who we stayed with in Nashville. We had so much fun.
cute.
Um, it was really cute. Her house is adorable, and her 2 dogs. And then we drove all the way to New Orleans, but we went through Huntsville and Hattiesburg where I have family. And we went to like a little blues festival in the park in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and everyone in the town was there. And then we were going to another little concert that was after that called Live at 5, and we got stuck.
Live at 5. That's the most like community thing.
Isn't it
That's like
cute?
a I
Isn't
do
it cute?
love it.
Um,
Yeah.
And then we got stuck behind a train, which was gonna take 45 minutes, but don't worry because my parents' carpenters, were sitting with us, and they were both like I'm gonna do a terrible accent, but they're like, "Hey, why don't we just drive you? We'll be like your Uber." And they drove us to the thing, and then we
That's
all went
nice.
out all night long, and it was so fun. We went to a brewery, and it was just delightful, and I had such a good time. But then I had a really tough time saying goodbye to my parents. I think it gets harder every time for me right now, just with so much unknown ahead of me, and it's just, I took my parents to, if any of you are in New Orleans anytime soon, go to the Country Club. It is one of the oldest gay bars, homes. It's a club.
Mhm.
It literally has a pool in it. Clothing is optional. It's this beautiful, like, house that you can go in and you can do a membership or you can just go for the day. And my parents and I and my friend Louise sat at the bar. We had delightful mixed drinks. The bartender was fantastic.
Of
And
course, because it's gay bar.
yeah,
Well, that's not true because I go to a gay bar every single Wednesday and Thursday, and the drinks there are so strong. They're so bad and they're so strong.
well, it was just delightful and wonderful. And my dad and I talked about my future, and that was a really great talk. But I think I'm feeling a lot of just like those feelings of like missing your family. And then I shared with you, and I'm going to share with this community because I do feel like you guys are such a great community. I thought I was in the we are not worried about Sarah having cancer zone, and I am not. So I went
Not out of the
to
zone.
not out of the zone. I went to list who is now going to run some more extensive tests that include having dye run through my body. So that's kind of neat. I've never done that before. Also, don't particularly love enclosed spaces. So not really looking
Hmm.
forward to being in an MRI for 45 minutes without movement.
Mm.
So that's
You know
fun.
what you gotta do? You gotta you know how, same way I hypnotize you to do those, like, hypnotize yourself. When you go in, just keep telling yourself, I'm fine.
I might
I'm
get
just
you to record
meditating.
something.
Oh, I absolutely will. Like,
Yeah.
let me tell you what, I have psyched myself into so many things that I don't actually like doing. Like, I think I've actually tricked myself into cleaning and keep maintaining cleanliness. Can I tell you, the kitchen's not a wreck, the living room looks gorgeous, and my bedroom has a floor still. It's been a
I
week.
love that. I love
Um,
that.
and and the bathroom's mostly clean. Like the guest bathroom is spotless. My bathroom is mostly clean.
I
And
love
for
that.
for you know, for, ugh, I
I know
can't
how
do it.
much you hate
Anyways,
that.
sorry.
No, you're
Talking
fine.
about you and
No, it's
your
fine.
dye in your body.
And the dye in my body. So that'll be I can't do that until the end of the month. So it's a lot of waiting again,
That's very
which kind of
annoying.
is stinky. But I am running a half marathon the weekend before that. So that's coming up. And my body is
Yep.
actually pretty healthy for that, which is great considering like I had uh I still have some lung issues from COVID and I had plantar fasciitis. So the idea that I can run again is pretty exciting. Um
Mm.
so yeah, I also have to not have to. I am going to be doing a funeral tomorrow, and that always takes a bit of it out of um, yeah, takes a little bit of it out of me. So, and then also preaching this week. We're both preaching this week.
I know on Palm Sunday, and okay, can we, okay, little Bible talk trigger warning for people in here. I don't know what to preach right now. I think I have the text. The lectionary is the triumphant entry into the city. Jesus flips the tables. And I'm like, don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I think I am going with talking about how this triumphal entry is kind of a little bit ridiculous. Both a horse and a donkey, right? Come on. He can't ride both.
Yeah.
Is he straddling? What's happening in it? And I think
Mm-hmm.
the beauty of it is this story is like so many people like come in through those gates as victors, right? And so the story
Mm-hmm.
is originally like this supposed to be this pumped up victor thing, but there is this beautiful like simplicity in it. So I'm talking about like how like the mundane is actually the beautiful part of the story. It's the
Mm-hmm.
simple parts, so that they're palm branches and all these things that like are very everyday is actually the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful part of the story, not the big parade. And then I'm talking about how like we got to celebrate the little things right now. And
Mm-hmm.
what does that look like? And how there it's lots of miracles in the mundane. And that also like quickly people that are for one thing are gonna flip to something else. But I don't know how I'm putting it all
Sorry,
together.
everyone.
I have written like I have all this research. Like I've preached on Palm Sunday. You're right. I've preached on Palm Sunday so many times, and yet to this year it's a weird. I don't know what I'm doing with it. So um,
Yeah.
I actually
Especially
have to
because, like, I
finish
was
that
like,
up right after this.
yeah, I have to at least send like the text I'm going to use to whoever's doing the slides on Sunday. Hold on one
Your
second.
ch- your chair is really squeaky. It makes me
I
laugh.
know it's the worst. I think I need. It's prettier than the other chair, but it's louder. So I think I'm going to have to move it back into the other room. Um, I mean, the thing I was originally thinking about was just like the things that people like the identities and like things that people were
Yes.
projecting onto Jesus.
Yes.
Like Jesus, like they projected like just earlier, right, or later in the week, they're going to project Jesus as this high and mighty person who shouldn't be uh cleaning the feet of the disciples. Right now they're calling him king.
Right.
And then in the temple they're calling him teacher, and other people are calling him a heretic and are
And
trying to
then
get
they
him
like
killed.
are making fun of him for being the yeah. I think that's a really good, you
And so
know,
it's like I'm kind of looking at these passages. I was like, that was like one thing. But the thing that I was kind of drawn into was like he flipped over the tables in the temple, and it's just like that to me feels like what is happening a lot within a lot of religious circles in general
yeah,
is that
for sure.
is that we are either in spaces where we are recognizing spiritual abuse happening and calling it out, i.e., Hillsong documentary, the
Mm.
evangelical wave, just in, it's and then on the other side of it though, oh, okay, this is what it is. It's finally coming through. This is
Here,
good. Thank you.
see, aren't you guys glad you could be here for sermon
Yeah.
writing hour?
Yeah. Because like the thing that happens right after that though is just like the text says in the NRSV that he was preaching in the temple every single day and people were spellbound.
Mm,
And I'm like, so what was he preaching? What was he teaching? Probably the same thing he had been teaching. The kingdom of God is within you. And so that I'm just like, what would it be like for us in these places now to like not just go with the flipping of the tables, but into just like what would we like to do now? Jesus did exactly what he wanted to do, which was tell people
now,
the.
what do you want to do now is a great question.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
love that.
and
That was
also just
good.
like, yeah, I think that's where we're going with it. Okay,
Also,
cool. I
I
feel so
love
much
that
better
Meta
now.
Mystic Tarot wrote Spellbound. Interesting.
That's exactly it. Jesus was in there and they were spellbound. And
the
that's
witch,
also like,
the witch Kevin would notice.
I'm like, spellbound. What was he like? Listen, of course, listen, sometimes preaching is an incantation and it just gets you caught up.
There are
What?
two things that as one of your dear friends, closest friends, I love. It's right whatever you say after you say the word listen. Whatever comes up. And when I tell you, whatever you say after when I tell you or listen, I'm like, it's gonna be good.
When I tell you shit.
When I
Um,
tell you.
but yeah, so if y'all are listening, you want to tune in, it will be on Facebook Live, recorded,
I'm
if
preaching
that
in
suits you.
Burbank. I'm not sure. Burbank,
In
California.
Babank.
So I'm not sure if
Maybe
it's
maybe
online.
Nicole Byer will be there. Just kidding. I just know Nicole Byer lives in Burbank. Um, anyways, so Yeah. Do we have any other things to check in on? Any other things to express?
Da, 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 da,
Check
da.
in on? Think about?
I mean, some really well, I can share that thing. And we started a Discord. Well, we started Patreon for my recovery, and we started Discord, and we are having the best conversations in there.
Yes.
There's not a ton of people yet, but the people that are in there are so engaged. I mean, just even earlier this morning, I was reading all their responses, and oh my
Mhm.
gosh, that's just such a
Yeah.
cool community. If you're interested in that, that's
Mhm.
patreon.com/revcovery. And it's $4 a month. We do that obviously because we need to support the show because we're paying for it out of our pocket right now, but
Mhm.
also because hopefully that'll cut down on people like, trolling.
Yeah.
So
And that's and no, and I will say, like, I'm really thankful to have a paywall for things
mhm.
because at the end of the day, like, it really does, and if you're somebody out there who you need, like, resources, like, reach out. There's a way that we can I'm sure there's a way we can connect you, but, like, it's $4. If you're probably watching this on your phone or your laptop or tablets. I'm just like, I'm not saying that you don't have $4 a month, but also,
But
if you're
also it
watching
needs to be
YouTube
a
right now,
good use of your money. And if you feel like that's a good use of your money, hop on over.
yeah, that's what I say. I'm just like, if it's the same thing with anything else. If it's helpful, you should pay. You should. I guess that's kind of like what I think about in general. Like, if it's helpful, you should pay for it, or you should support it in a way that's actually helpful. And right now, that support looks like coins.
That's true.
Um, and
That is
but only
true.
if it's not helpful, don't fucking do it.
Guys, please
Don't.
excuse that my window has to be open because it's so hot and you're hearing the Amazon truck. So bad,
Please
guys.
excuse the fact that I'm so beautiful.
You are so beautiful. It's true. You're
Um,
beautiful. It's true.
so shall we dive
Let's do it.
into this week's super
Whew.
duper exciting list of things that have gone on in the world? It's our it's called current events pop culture segment. Um, hey girl, what's your
Airing your
number?
grievances. We've had so many names for this.
Yeah,
I love
we
it.
need little bit of tea and shade, etc., etc. So, would you like to kick it off, or would you like me to kick it off?
Yeah. So we had a really exciting thing. Ketanji Brown Jackson first.
Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson,
Yes.
Supreme
Um,
Court
or
Justice.
Justice. Uh, which is exciting, Justice Jackson, which is just like the coolest name.
Mhm.
Which is really, really
The most
exciting. And
qualified individual who's ever taken to the Supreme
yeah.
Court.
Uh, and it was really interesting. I saw a clip that someone did of all the responses that the Republican Party had, and all of them were like, "She's so qualified," and I vote no.
She's so
Um,
good. She's so nice. She's
so
amazing.
right,
And I'm going to
I
have to
love
vote
her
no.
family, and I am voting no. It was the weirdest
I'm
thing.
so thankful to have listened to. No, it was not a weird thing because that's what they fucking do. That's what
Well,
that's what evangelical Christians do too. It's like, oh, I think they're so nice. They're so wonderful. It's too bad they're going to hell.
I mean, it's the weirdest thing. And then the thing that really bothered me is that after she was confirmed, one of them clapped, the rest walked out.
Good. Let them walk.
And that is not what people did, even with Kavanaugh, which was someone who literally has a very sketchy background. And I actually
Listen,
know that because, guys, I actually personally know someone who went to college with him and had to speak to the FBI. Like,
all
this is not someone we want as a justice, but that
he's
was
there for
who,
life.
right?
Whoops.
And that was who the president at the time chose. And I understand, but we've gotten so partisan that it's like a UNC Duke basketball game where
Yeah.
you don't even care. Like, actually, and fans of sports are better because at least they're going, oh, that's a really great play. You know what I mean? Like, it
Yeah, it's one
was,
of those things where it's just like we understand, or like to use your sports analogy, they understand that it's a game and it's not that serious, but we should not be playing the same strategy in politics.
no, no.
I was watching a video of somebody. It was like a town hall with one of the Republican senators from Iowa, I think, and one of his constituents was confronting him and said, "What y'all put Ketanji Jackson through was
Hmm.
wrong."
Yeah,
I
it
watched
is.
every minute of it, and it was awful. And it's like, I don't think that you're for the people. I think you're for the party.
Yes.
And that's really what all GOP, like looking across the state, like fucking
Oh,
fucking Ron DeSantis, aka I want to be president someday. And so I'm going to literally I'm going to make it look like I am the greatest proponent of destroying queer lives possible. I'm going to become the devil. I'm go- like I am literally going. I'm going to try and pull a Trump and like walk out in the middle of 33rd Street and shoot somebody to see what happens. Like that's the level of bullshit that this is. Like and I hate it. I'm like, why isn't the Equality Act been passed? How is abortion up for debate again?
uh,
How? Like, I don't understand how we have set a precedent, and in the US like system of law, that's how we go on precedent. We set the precedent for women doing this and being equal under the law. We set the precedent for marriage equality under the law. And that's how it's supposed to continue to work. It's like, oh, it's like a general unfolding, like a growth, something very organic based off of understanding new information. But what it's turned into, again, is a backlash against Black lives, a backlash against any sort of people who are not white and not cis and not straight and not male having any sort of ability to determine their own lives.
I think some of it is, well, I don't think some of it. I think it's honestly the fear of not mattering. And so we stop listening to a group of people. And that in no way, I'm not saying that the middle American has been given the narrative that they aren't being listened to or valued. And then
Which
they
is
look
true.
around, right? And they look around and the prices that they're getting for the soy that they grew because they were told to grow. All the things that like they thought were an American ideal, and it's very true. And also, it's fear mongering because the
Mhm.
news says that the news that a lot of these people are consuming, most of the news that we consume is partisan. The news that they're consuming is perpetuating fear. It's fear mongering because fear sells. Saying that like, hey, like if you don't, it's a scarcity mindset of like, there's only so much to go around,
Mhm.
and they want to take it from you. Like one woman said this really fascinating thing. I was reading this thing about school boards in Florida, and this woman was like, they're trying to make our kids gay. They're trying to make our kids trans. Like,
Jesus
I
Christ.
don't think what what like that's not, but that's something that she believes at the core of her because her experience doesn't
So
include the
any queer
people.
people,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I remember the same thing. Like my mother was like, when I came out to her the first time, it was, we're gonna beat this. Like it was something that like it was a
Oh,
sickness in the mind.
we're gonna
Um,
beat this.
that's what, and she was
Yeah.
doing the best with what she could do at the time.
But she adjusted
Um,
and changed and moved, and I think that's the thing is we cannot just dispel these people as crazy. We have to say there is a large group of people who feel unheard, and the people who are,
mhm,
quote, unquote, "listening to them," who, by the way, don't
mhm,
have their needs in mind. It hasn't gotten better to be a farmer in America. It has not gotten better to have anything to
mhm,
do with coal. Trump being in for 4 years helped you not at all, and everything that
mhm,
you think
mhm,
you're
mhm,
experiencing as a hardship because of the current, it never is. It takes a while for things to work through. He wasn't for you, never has been for you. He's for
ding dong.
billionaires.
Mhm.
Um, but he was able to act like he listened to you. I mean, the number of signs I've seen around that say "Don't blame me, I voted for Trump." I think, okay, I get it, except
He
that,
didn't do he didn't do anything good for literally anybody.
no,
So,
no.
but
I mean, Stocks kind of went up for a while, so that was good-ish.
for a minute until, but like that's the thing about like economic things. It's everything's so fragile. You get one little pandemic and the whole thing comes crashing down. That's why capitalism is so fragile. It requires exploitation
It's
of
true.
human bodies. When human bodies aren't able to be used,
Mm-hmm. All of that
well,
stemming from the truth that we've got to figure out how to stop being so bipartisan. We really do. Because it is an othering that we can never move beyond. And we got to do something because it's just going to be like a game where they got a point, I got a point. They got a point, I got a point. They got a point, I got a point. And it's like we shouldn't be flip-flopping judges or voting on people just because of the presidential, whoever elected, whoever nominated them. It should never be that. It should literally, like, the Supreme Court should be based on what the people believe is the best thing for the country.
yeah.
Nothing to do. And legacy, friends. This, if we're gonna have people who have legacy, who have like basically they have tenure. If we're gonna do that,
no, not basically. They do. Like it is an appointment for life, unless you get removed for some. Actually, how does a Supreme Court justice get removed? We don't know.
Well, and that's a thing to bring up because Clarence Thomas should be, based on what's going on with his wife.
Let's bring that up for a second. Clarence Thomas's wife, if y'all didn't, who knew that we were going to be a political podcast? But I kind of love it, if I'm being honest.
We switched. We'll talk about Skanker in a minute.
We're like pretty verse, We go. Do you get what I'm saying when I say we're verse?
I do know what verse is. I just love that I know that because of you. Like, I literally, so many conversations I now understand in a way that I never would have before.
You know what? That is the body of Christ at work, I think. Anyways, Clarence Thomas's wife apparently was like texting some people who were very, very closely involved with the Capitol riots on January 6th. And basically saying, encouraging them, just like, no, you got to decertify, like you can't certify the votes. Like, and they said, and I quote, "In war, there are no rules." And I'm like, that woman is the queen of the KKK. We found her. We didn't know, but like that is literally some like Watchmen shit, It
is. It's strange, but also like some of the cases that he has not recused himself from are things that she literally is paid to be a what do you call it? Oh, there's a word for it. Advocate. But there's a different.
A pundit for, a lobbyist for.
Lobbyist. She's a lobbyist for. And he didn't recuse himself, even though the woman that he lives with is literally the paid person to represent that. Like that's some shady stuff. And I agree with you guys. So a lot of people are saying we should have term limits. Here's the problem. If we have term limits, it's just going to flip-flop like it does. Like it'll literally be like everybody out, everybody in. It'll depend on who's in power. So we got to figure out a way to stagger it like the United Methodist Church, where if you're on a committee, you're going to be on a 4-year cycle and not everybody moves at the same time.
Well, all I got to say is I hate it here.
No, you don't. But yes,
I do. I don't like it here in America. I will say I'm very thankful for the life that I've carved out, but I'd much rather live in Sweden. Sex crime, like there's no such thing as sex crime. Well, there's such sex crimes, but sex work is decriminalized. Sex work is decriminalized. Drugs is fine. I'm going to go live in Amsterdam. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do.
That feels right.
Also, I think that I might take this is I'm putting this on my vision board. This is also me transitioning to something that has nothing to do. Also, apparently I changed my name to Peggy because that's who's going to be the video I'm pulling up for our question later. So I'm not Peggy. But maybe I am. Maybe we're all Peggy. We don't know. I'm plotting out the rest of my cohorts for this year and next year. And I'm like, I have 2 months right here where I don't have a cohort going on. I want to travel abroad. I haven't gone abroad in so long, and maybe I'll go to Australia for a long while, maybe like a month. Do you know why?
Wow.
Because it's Australia.
But also, there's a lot of things that want to kill you in Australia, like
Yeah, like
spiders.
Christians.
No. Like giant spiders,
No,
like former Hillsong.
conservative Christians. Like they
No,
want to. They do. There are some there are some Christians out there who believe that gay people should be dead. That's a fact. And I bet you a
no,
lot of them go to
that is true.
Hillsong.
Well, it's interesting. We'll get to that. Do we want to just hop there?
Sure, we can hop wherever we need to.
So Hillsong, obviously we've already talked about the documentary that came out and all that. Well, now they're finding like even more stuff
Yeah,
about
the deeper it goes, the deeper it goes.
right, Ukraine, people being forced to step down, all this very interesting stuff going on. But what I'm finding fascinating, I'd love to hear if anyone else is having this experience. My friends who have gone to Hillsong or currently go to Hillsong, they're just sort of like, yeah. Like it's shocking and it's hard, but like, or it's
And
not
they're
even
just all
shocking.
shrugging.
They're not shocked by it. They're just sort of like, yeah. Yeah. My one friend did say that it was something that they are no longer wanting to support Hillsong.
Well, then you should stop supporting them.
They have. But I had another friend say the interesting thing is people like write music and such for Hillsong have lost all their because everybody that was not a part of it, like churches that were playing Hillsong songs won't anymore. And so like all the people who worked in the system. So unfortunately it's the songwriters that are getting screwed because they're all on
And
what are they called?
well, I'm sorry. Well, guess the fuck what? If you were making music that was and giving you were perpetuating a system. You were making money off of
Mm-hmm.
other people suffering, and so guess what? You don't deserve any of that money. And I think, like Zacchaeus, you should pay back 4 times what you have stolen.
Ooh. Now there's a worship song that needs to be written.
No, there always was. Zacchaeus was a wee little man, and a mean little man was he. He climbed up in a sycamore tree for the Lord he wanted to see.
Nice. I like
Right?
that version. Yeah, it's
So like
fascinating. The whole thing is
I
fascinating.
personally don't have any if you were writing songs for Hillsong and you know who Hillsong was, I have no pity for you. And you couldn't not know. And if you didn't, I still don't have any pity.
I also want to just for a minute talk about the fact that for most of my career as a church planter, so like a church restarter, I was forced to go to this conference in order to get our grant. I was forced to go to a conference every year that was run by the like people of these mega churches that we were all supposed to really idolize, and they're all falling down. And so it's just
I
this fascinating thing of like, what if the thing wasn't the big thing? What if this is the flipping of the tables? Like, what if the thing is that I actually think this is the thing is that everybody actually wants smaller community. They want to know the people. They want to, have this experience. I've been watching I've been watching this show, The Expanse, for like a year, and I've been saving the last 3 episodes. So it's about this like intergalactic battle between all these different types of
wait,
people. But
the
go what?
finale's been out for a long like this is the last 3 episodes and you're just not watching them? Like
I
saving them
just
for
watched.
what?
I just watched them. I needed to be
Okay.
emotionally ready. I wasn't ready to
I
say
get
goodbye.
that though. That
I
was me
wasn't
and
ready
Steven
to say
Universe.
goodbye.
I didn't watch the final 3 episodes of Steven Universe for a couple weeks because I wasn't emotionally ready for it. It
Yeah,
was
I
also
didn't
like
want to
going
say
to
goodbye.
watch the last Harry Potter movie,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
I didn't want to say goodbye. So there's a huge line where so all these people are different. It doesn't matter, different factions. They're all fighting, and there is this line where the main warriors who are from different factions, but they're together on this ship and have been for a long time. They say, How do I figure out what's right to do? How do I figure out what's right to do?" And the one person says to the other person, I thought this was really interesting. I don't know that we can figure out what's right to do on this like huge thing, but I know that we know who we want to be in battle with, like beside. And so it's all about the people that we actually know and have learned how to trust. And I think that's the I think sometimes with all of this stuff going on, it's really hard because it's like big, it's huge. And yet there is still, for me, I find hope in
Mm.
like the little community, the like people, the
Yeah,
gritty.
and I think in general, it's just like people are freaking out because they don't know what to do when their spirituality is not boxed up for them and not
Right.
presented to them on a tray, which is fine. You're allowed to freak out about that because it's very disorienting to go from
Mhm.
having a system of belief to having something be exposed as a fucking fraud.
Mhm.
It's kind of like, like I read this article about this man who was in Scientology basically for a long, long time, and they weren't allowed to have access to the internet.
Right.
And so, but then like he saw, did you tell me about this? I don't know, but
Maybe.
anyway, no, I saw it on TikTok. Classic.
Okay.
But he had access to the internet, and he just Googled Scientology and basically found all of the shit and the accusations against it and how it's been just, basically saw it for the farce that it was. And that's, and then, then you have to leave. And it's like, yeah, like it's a, I mean, like, I won't say that Hillsong is a cult because on the one hand, like, it doesn't quite tick all the boxes for cult, but as far as
Right.
like culty, cult adjacent, and just a power structure that's protecting itself. There's a lot you can do with money, and
I
so
don't think
there's
it's gonna is it I don't think it can last, right?
no, it can't. That's the problem. Is because um, I think that's just the nature of good and evil. Like like sorry, like the truth will set you free, and people want to be free. There's a natural human inclination to wanting freedom. And people, I believe, are starting to get nobody will move until they are uncomfortable enough to move. That's the thing.
That's true.
And you have to be willing to, and the thing is just like, if you are comfortable right now in those places and with all of the suffering that people have brought to you, you need to ask yourself why. Why am I
Is
okay with this? Why am I okay with these people suffering the way they have at the hands of something that I think that allegedly I was told is so beautiful and good and right? Because here's the truth: is that like last weekend, not to toot my own horn or toot the group's horn, but we had a delicious spiritual space that was non-manipulative, where people were able to opt in and opt out as they wanted to, where you didn't have to believe anything. We were all just there to enjoy. And that for me is, there's a way to have I know it's possible to have spiritual community without abuse. I know it's possible to have spiritual community that is healthy. And I wish, but like people don't have the imagination for it because all we've seen is churches abuse people. All
I
we've
think
seen are pastors abuse power.
well, and I think there is this aspect of money. When you have to raise money, when you're relying on the gifts of others, um, and you get, the certain right kind of people in, I have a thing. I enjoy listening to podcasts about cults. And I was listening to one this morning when I was shopping at Costco.
Of course.
And the one I was listening to was about was an actual cult expert talking about this the Twin Flames cult and how, by the way, that still is out there. Do not join the Twin Flames cult on YouTube. Um, and she was talking about just like the personality of the leader,
Oh yeah.
and how there really are narcissistic. And the work that I do, trying to help people who weren't narcissistic, so the system ate them up. We got to figure out a system that doesn't require a narcissist. You know?
Yeah, I would say it requires like the exact opposite in some ways.
Mhm.
It's just something. This is I was talking with Nadia Boltzweber for the podcast.
I love her.
Um,
She's great.
she's so good, a big inspiration for me. But something she said, like the thing that made House for All, her church that she started, so special, is that um, it was like she said, I'm just in charge of holding the energy for the space. I'm just in
Yeah.
charge. Like I'm just like, let everybody else do everything, and you just do this one part. And so that's what I did. I tried to do, and that's what I think is like really special also about like the church I go to, and like And just any sort of spiritual space that I'm looking for, I'm just like, let it not be centered around a single person's personality ever again. You know, comment the way I started. I've been thinking about it, I'm just like, the crowded table for me is like a spiritual social club. We have things that we sit around. We got practices we're trying. We're doing stuff together. And also, we pay dues.
Maybe you should have a pool. Sorry, I keep
Oh
thinking
my
of
God, yes.
that.
When we go on, let me tell you what, when we go on retreat this summer, I'm going to find a place, a big old house in Texas with a big old pool. And we're just going to have a little mini
Texas.
gay camp. Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
I don't know. I feel like Texas isn't the safest place for you.
If you, well, that's probably true. But also, like, gay town, like Palm Springs is hella expensive. Fort
That's
Lauderdale's
true.
expensive.
You're not
I
wrong.
mean, like, and so it's, but like, if we're just getting a house with a pool, and we're not really going, like, of course, like, but like, if you go to like someplace like Austin, San
Oh, you'll be
Antonio,
fine. You'll be
like
fine.
Dallas, Houston, I don't want to go in the middle of nowhere, Texas. That's stupid and
All
dangerous.
right. Can we bring up questions? Can we move on from this? I know we had another thing. We had to think about the Grammys. Do you want to talk about the Grammys?
They were just the Grammys. I wasn't very impressed by anything.
Nothing.
That's it. Not really.
I,
I don't care for award shows anymore.
I was
Like,
just gonna say I don't love award shows, and I wonder, the whole Oscar slapping thing. I'm
not
wondering if
talking about it. I'm not talking about it.
we're not, except that I wonder if it was staged so that people would start talking about it.
No. No fucking way in hell. And that's all I'll say.
Okay.
It was not staged, please. The
I
way
don't know.
that Jada reacted, no way, man.
Uh,
What happened?
You're
My
there.
computer's freaking out. Hold on. Sorry, my computer freaked out for a second.
It's okay. Mine is like
Mm.
really the fan is just going constantly. Should I worry?
It
Is it
just
because
means
it's
that it's
hot?
working hard. It's because it's hot. Anyways,
Can you pull up our question from our audience? And can you tell people how heirs can ask questions? Oh no.
want to, yes. If you ever want to send in your questions to your favorite aunts, you can do so by visiting this link right here. It says bit.ly/your favorite aunts hotline. You go there and you can leave us a text message, an audio message, or a video message. I wanted to bring up two things because we got a follow up from somebody from a couple weeks ago.
Is it from the nose ring?
No, it's from the young human who was at the Catholic school and
Oh
Sam,
yes.
where the fuck is my phone?
I don't know.
Hold on, it's in the other room. Do the whole
So
thing where you tell people to subscribe and rate and things.
yes. So subscribe, rate. You can write a review, even if where you just say we are polished is how I would describe us. Because we are definitely this is our most edited and polished show that we do. I also want to let you know if you are looking for any of these links and you don't have a chance to write it down right now, you can go to either Kevin or I's Instagram, and both of us have a link tree that has all the links to all this, including how you can get onto the show live. And also, the question that this person asked a couple weeks ago, if you don't remember, I'll give you a reminder. She was a student at a Catholic school, where the teacher was teaching kind of in.
I got it.
Okay. I was giving the student.
Yes. And they give a little bit of response. So it says, "Hi, it's M, the kid with the shitty religion teacher. And I have to say, your response to my question a couple weeks back was absolutely wonderful. It made my day. A lot has happened since I wrote in, so I thought I'd give you a little update. I was talking to our school's youth workers about my little conundrum, and she suggested that I talk to one of the school's administrators about what was going on, which was crazy. Like, here I was, handed an opportunity to go to one of my teacher's superiors and present my case to somebody whose priority was the students and not the Catholic BS curriculum. It would be her duty to listen to me, but unfortunately, due to annoying timing circumstances, it never ended up happening. There's another 3 weeks until the term ends. I stop having this teacher. I'm thinking of gathering the testimonies of my fellow classmates, many of whom are LGBTQ plus and or progressive Christians, and still talk to the vice principal about my teacher's behavior. And if possible, I want to see if there's any way to bring the issue further and discuss the harmful content that is present in the curriculum itself. Because, yeah, it turns out they're subtly homophobic and explicitly anti-abortion and anti-MAID. And I don't know what that stands for. If someone knows, tell me in the comments. It's not just the teacher, it's the system. Surprise, surprise. I don't know if I'm biting off more than I can chew, but I don't want this to end the term without trying something. If I'm going to be the angry gay kid, I want to be the angry gay kid who tried to make a difference. Thanks a lot, M. P.S. I'm going into gender studies and political science for university next year, which is ironic. P.S. Now I have a sticky note saying, be that bitch on my bathroom mirror.
We just give you a mantra. That's our whole goal.
A mantra to meditate upon and open up your heart to it. So yeah.
Also, let's vote for M. I don't know if M's ever going to run for anything, but I'd vote for M.
Yeah, when you get to public office age, just let us know. We'll do the best we can to help.
What a great and bold and amazing person M is.
Yeah, super exciting. So this next video question comes from one of our friends named Peggy.
Hi, my name is Peggy. I use they, them pronouns, and I live in Minnesota. My question for the ants is, how do I move past imposter syndrome? I just accepted a really great offer for a wonderful new position at a company that I'm super excited to work for, and the job is a great fit for me personality-wise and skill-wise, but the way that my prior job ended has produced a lot of self-doubt, and I don't feel confident going into this new role, even though on paper it's really great. So any advice would be fantastic. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peggy, what a great question they brought us. So I'm going to say what my dad said to me when I didn't feel like I belonged somewhere, when I was at a school that I felt like was above me. My dad said, what I heard from them is that like they really trust the company and like the company. And so my dad asked me, like, do you trust the people, at that school? Do you think they make really good decisions? Yeah, of course I do. Right. And they decided that you should be there. So if sometimes you have to realize that maybe you should trust the people that believe that you are at the level to be there. And sometimes, even when you're not ready to believe it, you have to let other people believe it for you until you can live into it. And the truth is, if your job ending wasn't great, give yourself some grace to just let it, that it's going to take a while for you to trust that you are valuable again, but also your worth is not in what you do. And so, Peggy, I think if you can just remember that if you really like this company and this company really likes you, maybe you're worth really being liked.
Yeah. Imposter syndrome is just a thought. I know that sounds so stupid, but it is literally just, my question would be, who would you be without it? Like, consider just for a second, I'm not supposed to have this job. That's the thought. I'm not good enough. I'm not qualified for this job, even
They're
though
going to figure it out. They're going to
figure out that I'm a sham, or I'm stupid, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm blah, 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 whatever it is, the story you tell. Just ask yourself, is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? Because you are certainly suffering from this thought that you're not absolutely sure is true. So that's number one. And two, ask yourself, and this is straight out of, doing the work with Byron Katie. What happens when you believe that thought? All those condemning thoughts that come in. What do? I freak out. I actually do my job more poorly. I am anxious. My body is crunchy, and I have to do things to get myself back and centered. And then the question is, who would I be without it? I'd probably enjoy my job. Maybe. And just try it on. It's just like, and then try on the opposite thought. If the thought is, I'm not supposed to be here. The answer, you should just flip it around. I am supposed to be here. And just try it on. You don't have to like make that your dominant thought all the way. And like, because like if you genuinely don't believe you're supposed to be there, don't force yourself into like a higher, like don't try to just vibe high because you think it's what you're supposed to do. Be as insecure as you are. It's totally fine. Do you know why? Because you're still capable.
And because
Be
everyone
as
around you
insecure as you
is.
are. Yeah.
Everyone around you is. That's the
Like
truth.
if I
That's the absolute truth. My dad told me when the first night that he was a doctor alone on call,
Ooh,
he kept
baby.
wondering when the other doctor was going to show up when they called for the doctor. And then he recognized, oh, wait a minute, I am the doctor. And he said, everyone feels that way. Everyone feels that way.
Until you don't.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. It's like, sorry, I'm trying not to cough into the mic. I'm going to mute myself for a second.
Okay. I think that's
Don't
always
smoke, kids.
Don't. This aunt
You'll
will
like
tell
it too
you,
much.
don't smoke it.
You'll like it too much.
Um,
Yeah, so I would say just be as insecure as you are and be nice to yourself. And when it comes up, when the feeling comes up, don't try to push it away. Oh, I should be confident all of a sudden. No, look at it and be like, oh my God, I'm a little nervous, aren't I? And just
and
kind
I
of get
can
a little
still do it.
playful with it. Yeah, get a little playful with yourself. It's like, there's a part of me that's nervous. That's so interesting. Why am I
Also, your
nervous?
body doesn't know the difference between nervous and excitement. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
Brene
important to
Brown told
remember.
us. Brene Brown told us. Atlas of the Heart, baby.
Is that an Atlas of the Heart? I had heard of that way
Yeah.
before that. That's funny.
Yeah, that's true. But she also just like corroborated it and took it a little deeper and like talked about practices. So
Oh,
it's like
she's so
when
great.
when you have that energy within you, just check in and just like, okay, there's a lot of energy here. Don't even like say it's nerves or excitement. Just say there's a lot of energy here. What do I need to do to express this energy? I can either say I'm nervous and worry about it, or say I'm excited and start dreaming about the possibility of better. Something A Course in Miracles says, and this is, a little preachy moment, we have more faith in the possibility of a disaster than we do in the possibility of a miracle.
I love that one time you asked me, what if it all works out?
What if?
And I think I'm so easy to say, what if
And
it all
so,
falls apart?
yeah. Because like the thing is like you already know what happens if it all falls apart. You fucking start over because that's what we've had to do this over and over and over again. The question has to actually become, what if it all works out? What if I get the thing I want? What if I actually find the peace that I deserve? What if I fall in love? What if I actually find a community that accepts me? What if I actually get the dream job? What if I actually pay off my debt? What if I actually learn how to love my body? What if I learn really good masturbation techniques so that I'm an incredible lover when I get there? What if? What if I ate the thing? What if I, did, swung the kettlebell? What if I did whatever I wanted to without any shame or guilt?
What if? And I think the recognition that we're all human and we're all walking around just wondering, like, am I doing this right?
I tell you what, that's the damn thing. Everybody's walking around thinking, like, what if they find out? I'm like, and then you gotta go. If you lean into yourself, get really. This is what I think. The spirit of God in me, or like my highest self, is such a little jokester. He just, just leans over to my little scared ego and says, "Yeah, what if they do find out that you're a fucking fraud?" And it's just like, I'm not a fraud. I'm just like, I know that. And so like the ego I kind of like straightens itself out and tries. It's so funny. Just playing around, like being playful with yourself and not trying to like don't think you gotta like it's like I gotta be really confident right now. No. Be
I think
insecure. Like
and
just like
there's
confidence is
some
all a farce
humanity.
anyways, man.
There's some shared humanity in it. Like, I think the times that I walk, like, as I'm teaching this, one of the things I have a new job that I get to do, which is teaching those who've experienced homelessness and have a lived experience of that, are for an organization that is a home, like, sheltering first model called United to End Homelessness, which is the United Way. They want to have people tell their own stories instead of someone else tell their stories for them. So this is a unique model because often people tell the stories of those who have experienced homelessness because, those who have experienced homelessness don't have necessarily the training in how to effectively communicate. So I get to teach and coach people how to tell their story. And one of the things I say is like, you can be honest about this. You be honest about like, hey, like getting in front of you guys makes me a little nervous. And what's interesting is the whole audience often will go,
Yeah. And like I do the same thing too. When I'm nervous to talk in front of people, I will just say, I gotta say I'm nervous real quick. So can we all just breathe for a second? And then because like it's
it
just a
doesn't matter.
feeling.
And you're
Yeah.
just a person. Everyone is.
Yeah. And when the feeling comes back again and you say, I should be over it by now. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't be over it until you are.
I love that.
When it comes back again, be nice to yourself again. What a concept.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Your Favorite Ants. Thank you for sending in messages. It means so much to us. Continue to do so. We love it. We'll talk about anything from skincare to...
Ooh, that's the question we have next week. So I dare you to come barefaced next week so that we can do an eye tutorial because there's a makeup question and I am ready to become the beauty guru of my dreams.
Is it about our cat eyes? Because both you and I love a cat eye.
I mean, like, I want to turn just like I'm probably going to do like a full drag eye. Because here's the deal. I have on my list of dreams. I went out last night to see the Glitz show at Mary's, which is my favorite queer bar in Atlanta. And I was just taken aback at how joyful and fun the performers were having, and also with a variety of gender expressions: bearded queen, mustache queen, fishy queen, campy
What's
queen,
a fishy queen?
a queen who looks like a woman, like a biological woman, like very like, fish as in cunt. That's what they mean. Like,
okay.
That's what it means.
Oh gosh. Whoa. I can't believe we have that word in here now. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing, like within like queer culture and drag culture, like
I get it.
I know it's so strange. I'm sorry if anyone got triggered by that. I didn't mean to do that.
You asked, I asked, and you answered. It's okay.
Yeah. So fishy. It's like, ooh, serving fish. Anyways, please like, rate, and share all the things. It would be really, really great. If you haven't already, make sure that you go follow our other podcasts, A Tiny Revolution and Revcovery. And also, if you are in search of community in any sort of direction, if you are a pastor or someone in ministry or leaving ministry and you're trying to figure out life after that, Revcovery, the Discord channel on their Patreon, is the place to go. If you're looking for a spiritual social club where you can start figuring out your shit with other people and enjoy doing spirituality again, come hang out at The Crowded Table at thecrowdedtable.mn.co. Anything? Did I cover everything?
I think so. You did it for us. So take care of yourself, guys. The question that Kevin asked is, I think, really important. And that question is, what are you doing to take care of yourself? Like, how can you be nice to yourself? How can you be nice to yourself this weekend?
How are you going to return to peace? How are you going to have fun? Listen, healing is not your purpose. That's what Tony Jones told us. Have some fun this weekend as you can. Even if that fun just looks like laying your ass down.
Oof. I love it.
Go lay down.
Have a great week, friends.
Go lay down. Go lay down and get to sleep. What? Okay. Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming to Your Favorite Ants. We'll see you next week. Bye.